Alright guys, now let's talk a little bit about this hand washing experiment. So there's two different ways you can do it. Now unfortunately, the way I wanted to do it, you just use gelatin and an incubator. Unfortunately, I do not have an incubator and it was really difficult to get the germs to grow without it. So if you want to do it that way, we will talk a little bit about how you do that at the end. But for now, let's talk about the quick and easy way that you can do this experiment. Now, all you will need is a black sheet of paper and some baby powder. Now, it makes it a little bit cooler if you also have a black light. So to start, you will want to make 6 different boxes. To start, what you will want to do is take one finger and put it in a container full of baby powder. Make sure it really gets all over your finger. And now you will just press it to number 1. Now make sure you really roll your finger around to make sure you get all the baby powder. This is your control. This just shows that yes, the baby powder does show up. Okay? Now for number 2, what you will do is get a second finger and you will again get baby powder all around the finger. Now what you want to do is run it underwater. Now guys, for this experiment, you're going to want to do everything lightly. This baby powder is going to come off a lot easier than the germs would. So when you run your finger underwater, make sure it's light water and just real quick. All you want to do is just flick a little bit of water off. You do not want to dry it. And actually, if it's wet, the baby powder will stick to the paper a little bit easier. On box number 3, you're going to use soap and water. And again, guys, do it very lightly and then just gently flick it. And again, you're going to rub your finger all around box number 3. Now, for box number 4, you're going to use soap and water and completely dry it with a towel. So now you will do that in box number 4. Again, rub it all the way around. And for box number 5, just use a towel. No soap, no water, just a towel and wipe off the baby powder and do that at number 5. Now on number 6, you're going to use hand sanitizer. Now again guys, remember very softly, just a little bit of hand sanitizer and rub it all over number 6. Now, you will want to wait just a couple minutes for everything to dry so that you can see the baby powder a little bit better. It is harder to see when it's wet. And again, to make it a little cool, we're going to use a black light. So box number 1 is our control. It just shows that yes, the baby powder does go onto the paper. Now number 2 is our water. Now for number 3, the soap and water, you can see that there's a tiny bit of baby powder left. And it did transfer onto this piece of paper. Now for number 4, because we wiped away the germs, there is nothing. Now for number 5, you may have a little bit. It depends on how hard you wiped. But for number 5, you're more than likely going to have little to no baby powder. And for number 6, as you can see, I still had a good amount of baby powder. Now yours may look a little bit different depending on how much you washed or wiped when you did this experiment. So as you can see, using friction to wipe away those germs is extremely important. Now the soap and water is good because it mixes together and it makes the germs slippery. You can watch that in our soap experiment. Now, if you don't wipe it away, all you did was make those germs slippery. So now it's easier for those germs to fall off onto anything that I touch. And then when you touch it, you will take my germs. Now, just because my germs are making me sick doesn't mean they won't make you sick because your body is not used to my germs. And with hand sanitizer, yes, it is killing the top layer of germs, but we have layers and layers of germs on us. So all you're doing is that top layer of germ, if you're not wiping it away, those germs are just sitting there and now it's food. For all the germs that are laying underneath, or for all the new germs that you're picking up when you touch things, now all of these germs are going to thrive because you just made a perfect breeding ground for the germs. So if you absolutely must use hand sanitizer, please make sure you find something to wipe them away. Again, hand sanitizer should be a second option at best, should not be your first option. Do not pass up that sink and water to find hand sanitizer. So if you want to do this experiment with actual germs, all you need is Tupperware and gelatin. Now you will want to use a Tupperware that you don't mind throwing away. Now keep in mind that the germs on your hands are not hurting you yet, but once they grow, they can become a little bit more dangerous. So I think it's best to just completely throw it out when the experiment is done. Now, you will want to label it the same way into 6 different sections. And then you will let the gelatin cool, and when you're ready, you will do the experiment the exact same way. But you want to make sure that your hands are dirty. You're not going to use baby powder this time. Make sure that you didn't recently wash your hands, and then you follow the exact same instructions. And then you will have to wait a week, maybe 2, in the incubator for the germs to grow. But the experiment is just as fun with the black paper. Whichever experiment you decide to do, or if you decide not to do it at all, just make sure that you're washing your hands properly. And just remember that soap and water does help. The longer that you wash your hands and use the friction of rubbing it together, the more germs that you are going to be able to get off. But just remember to use a towel to wipe them off when you're all done. So guys, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye!